In this video, I will walk you through a dashboard for project management. So there's a couple of things to know about dashboards. They're usually for executives and the like, so you don't want to go into too much detail. But when you have something that is unusual in your dashboard, which is a red flag or being late or the likes, you can be sure that you'll be asked the question, why? So your dashboard needs to be succinct because it's for executives, but at the same time, you need to be able to answer the questions that might come up when people have a look at the dashboard. So it's a fine line, but you need to be able to do it. And this dashboard is being made with that in mind. So I will walk you through it. It's not technically challenging to develop, but I will walk you through my version of the dashboard. And in another video, I will work more on the program dashboard where you can have a look at several projects. And it could use the data from this project dashboard. So you could have several tabs with several projects, and that would feed into the program. But one thing at a time. First, let's have a look at this project dashboard. Now, there are two ways that you could feed in data into this dashboard or even this report. You could use it for both dashboard or report. One way would be just obviously to input data directly. When there's nothing wrong with that because there's a minimal amount of data. And the second way would be to import things from other tabs. You have the risk register on the same spreadsheet, but a different tab. You have an issue list, action items, everything in one spreadsheet, and then it will be just a matter of to consolidate all this data into this dashboard. Another option, as I mentioned a little bit in the intro, is you would have all those project dashboard on different tabs, and then you will feed all this into a program dashboard, and we will see that next time. For this video, I have a bit of a mix of the two, so some data will be input directly, we hard-coded, and some data will be imported. So to import the data, I didn't create another tab, I just put the data below here, so it's mostly for the charts. Now let's walk you through this spreadsheet. So I have created a background with a very light gray to start with, so which is just the second one here. And the idea is to have the text in the middle would be white and it would stand out. Now I didn't change much the size of the cells. If we get started with the center, I'll just merge here 6 cells together to put the start date and the completion date, and for the rack status. Now the questions that come to when people look at these dashboards are usually, for how long have we been doing this? If they're sitting in a weekly meeting, so here you can give them the answer straight away. Yeah, we've been doing that since the 2nd of Feb. And when are we going to see the end of this? And then you show the completion date. So this is why I have put these 2 dates quite prominently here. And the center, the most prominent of all, is the rack status. So if you don't know much about rack, I don't want to repeat myself too much. I'll send you back to another video that I have that explains exactly why the rack status should be very obvious and will be in plain sight. So to do this, I've done the same. I've merged the six cells, sorry, and I've put a very conditional formatting on this, and also a validation. So for the validation, I went very brutal. So if there are some purists in here, they might not be happy, but I've done the data, instead of creating a table, data validation, instead of creating a table, I just put hard-coded the list here. But it would have been as easy to create a list, but I was a bit lazy there. And the conditional formatting, you can conditional format merge cells the same way as you do a normal cell. So I just go into conditional formatting and I've created the rules. And it's a rule, the format only cells that contain. So the cell value equal to green. Once again, hard-coded here, I put some green. Amber, and put amber. Red, you guessed it, I put red. So this is the key thing. This is the stuff on the top. So I mentioned in the intro that questions will arise, especially if it's a red. So here actually it'd be more accurate maybe to have it amber. So you would have an executive asking you, so why is it amber? And then you would jump onto this part here, to the rag, the breakdown of all the rags for each area. So here I've just put 5 areas, but you can put as many areas as you like. So finances, you have the rag status here, and then I have some conditional formatting here. So if they see the rag status at amber, you'll be able to say, well, it's amber because the finances are red and the stakeholders are red. And also on top of that, we have the issues as amber. So you can put them here. So the way I've built that is I put the 5 areas that I've chosen here, and I've put the same reg status with the same validation. And here I've created another cell here where I just put a circle. So a circle you use to go into, for the circle you need to go into Webdings, you put insert symbol, and then you go into Webdings here, Webdings here, and then you find this and you bring it back here. And then what you do is you actually, okay, now I've inserted one, I'm going to remove it. And what you do here is you do a conditional formatting as well. Conditional formatting. And instead of formatting I'm just going to take one to show you. Instead of formatting the field, you format the font itself, because this is a font. It's like a character in a Webdings font, but it's a character as well. So that's the way you do it. And here, once again, I was a bit lazy. I put green as default, so I only have to put amber and red here. And I've applied some, let's have a look, a fill here, which is I put the second of this. So this is the new Microsoft default theme, default theme, it's hard to say. So just to show you quickly the page layout here, it's a new Office one. It's not the Office 1322 that's just been replaced. But you know, by the way, if you want to change the color of your report, you can just change the theme here, and that gives you all the colors that you like. But let's not get distracted. Let's go back here. So here I've applied this cell here. So that's the second one here. And I've put a very light border here. So I just went into border. I'll just show you for one, and for the others, it'll be exactly the same. I put something deeper. I put the one on the top here, and I just apply it across the board. So for this one, the border is a bit stronger than the one below. It's just because this is quite important here. So here you have the rags. So if they ask you, why is it amber? You take them here. Here they would ask you, why is finances red? And then you will go to the finance part. Why is the issues amber? And then you can take them to the issues part. So for this here, I didn't insert from anywhere. I just hard-coded all the reg status here. Then we move on to the issues. So here I just put the top 3 issues. I initially had put a rag, but I decided to remove it because the impact should be sufficient here at this stage. So we have, I have put the top 3 issues. 2 are high and 1 is medium. So that prompted me to put the overall issue status to amber. Because we do have issues. So the coffee machine is broken. That's quite important. So here the same. I just put a light background here, the purple light background here, and I put some grids the same, just a deeper tone for the grids. Okay. Now for the risk, the same. The top risks here, so the top will be the extreme or high if there are any. If not, then you have to drop down to the medium. But here I've done exactly the same thing. Just hard-coded everything. The only thing I've done is I've created some validation here as well. But the validation this time I didn't hard code it. I took it from the bottom of the spreadsheet here. So here I'll have the risk that we see that later on, but I'm validating using this list here, or this list there. The action items. Once again, you want to show, that's an option, to show what action item comes out of the meeting that you are attending. They don't care about the action items that you have with your team. So this is more on a high level. When you ask an executive, here I just give the example of a change request. When you have asked an executive to approve a change request, now it is a good reminder while you're at a meeting and say, well, I'm still waiting for this, high level stuff like budget changes and the likes. And also the March steering committee date is still to be agreed. So while you have all the top guns in a room, it's time to bring in this. I like to have some catch-all areas in my reports too, or my dashboards. So in this case here, I have other business. So anything that you feel is important or needs to be referred to, especially things with dates or numbers that you cannot, always remember. And there's always someone in a room asking you, by what date or what's the number of this. And then you can use this to your advantage here and put some data here. So this is all about issue, risk, action item, and other business here. So there's a lot of words here. So the other side is more for dates and data. So we'll have a look at the charts last. Here I have the budget. Budget, actuals, and estimates. So planned. So once again, this is my selection. Feel free to change this. The estimate plan is 100,000. The actuals, we have actually spent 85,000 here. And the estimate to complete, ETC estimate to complete, is 30,000. So that takes us to the estimate at completion, which is a total of those two, which is 115. And the left to spend here for information. So here we know that we're going to be over budget. And actually, I might jump into the chart now, actually, so that make it, while we are discussing dollars. For the budget, I choose the first series here with only the actual. So this deeper value here for this is actually the actual. It's actually the actual. The other, the lighter one, is all the estimates. And they will be here, like here you would have the 100, the planned. Here you would have the estimate to complete. So the two together here, it's quite obvious that you're going to be above board. The actuals plus the estimate to complete, it's above the plan. So we know we have a problem here. And here we have left to spend as information. So what you need to do is you need to create two series. One where you put the actuals and another one where you put the estimate. So that would allow you to highlight the two together here. So that's for the budget. For task completed, for some very obscure reason, people always want to know what we have done and what we are about to do. I don't find this information always very relevant, but just in case I ask you, okay, what have you been doing all this time? You can just show this. It's a way for you, I suppose, to show that you have progressed, that you have done stuff. Because when you stay on the high level, you always wonder, what are these guys are doing? What are they doing? I don't understand. So you can put some here and the task for next month and say what's ahead, what we're going to do. We're not going to, sit on our hands. We're actually going to do a lot of work, and here you would put your tasks. Now, the next part is actually the part that is very open, that you can put whatever you want as far as tasks and completion. So but here I've just put the standard, initiation, I should put planning more, maybe. Initiation, planning, execution, and closing, just as an example, but you might have some more specific tasks that you want to put. So this will not be used to calculate the overall project completion. So you can put just a subset of all tasks if you like. But I think it's good that you show that on the chart as well. So here we jump to that chart here. And so it's a very simple chart where you can show your values here. You put the name of the task here, and here you put a percentage completion. And here I didn't bother doing, so just to keep it simple, I just changed the color of this one manually, but you could automate it. So to change the colors, please refer to my other task list videos where I explain how to do that trick automatically. So here it's good. They see some chart. They see there's been a progress, tick, tick. So they know things have been done and things are in progress. And they can see the end. I think it's important to show the end. Here, this closing. We're going to close this thing at some stage. Now, before we go into the text itself, so this is something that, for instance, could come from another tab for you. You have the issues, the number of issues, low, medium, high, and you have the risks, low, medium, high, extreme. Once again, I have some videos explaining all this if you really don't, not on top of that. So I've decided for the risks, I've decided to only show the medium, high, extreme. I didn't want to overload this, and as there's only three types of risks, I think it's nice, it's consistent. So this is the way you do it. So but for this time, so you just create a chart based on this. So you need, when you create the chart, you need to make sure that you are selecting the chart. Let me show you. You need to make sure that you are selecting the chart that provides you with a different color for each column. So let's have a look. If I do recommend the chart, it's probably going to show me a rubbish. So I just go here, and I see this one here, for instance, is will be good because it's showing different color for each. And you can do this. And once you're here, what you can do is you can go to change colors, and you need to select the color scheme. So you have two ways. You have from deep to light, but you need to select the light to deep because the extreme is what we want to have stronger. So I haven't selected exactly the same, but you get the idea here. So make sure that you select different colors, and after you want to change the color scheme to be consistent with the issues and risk here that are purple. Issue risk purple and issue risk purple here. So that's for the risks. For the issues, it's exactly the same. Make sure that you select the proper chart type, and you have it here, and you can take it from another tab, or you can just take it from here. The last chart is the project completion, and that's, in this instance, I was saying that I could have calculated from here, but you need a bit of a loading, a weighing for each one of those tasks. But here it's just manually hard-coded, so put 90% and 10%. And you just a matter of selecting those two percentages. You go under Insert, and then you look for that type of chart. That's just one trick that I want to show you. All chart, you go to the horizontal one, and you need to make sure that you select this one here. And then you do the same, you just select the different, this one, there's only two. You could as easily just go here, you click on the part that you want to change, and you put a different color here. Now, this is something that you need to bear in mind, is when you use this type of chart. Now, I'm going to demonstrate here. So it works very well, 10%, 20%, 50%, 80% even. But when you go towards, I think it's 85%, if you go beyond 85 or 90%, then it changes the scale. It just puts 84% as a minimum and 100% at the maximum. And I don't think you want to do this, because that would really, people would look at that quickly, and they would see, oh, well, there's not much progress here. I mean, one way to change this is obviously to add the data label here. You would add the data label. You will make sure that you put it in white, and you put it you increase the font, put it bold, and you do what you have to do. But another thing to do is to right-click on the axis, and you need to make sure that the minimum is not 0.84, which is 85%, here 84%. You just need to put 0. And the maximum, why would you put 1.2? You put 1. So this shows you exactly, the 90%, and that will not change. So that's the advantage. You put 10% here, put 60%, and then you put 90%. It does not change. The last thing that I've done for this, for all the chart, I remove things like, for instance, here you remove the axis, remove the lines, remove basically everything. But I have added something. I've added a white border to this just to be a bit fancy about the separation here. So you right-click. You can probably do it directly from the top, but let's do it properly. Format data series. And you put a border here. So you put a nice fat white border. You make sure it's big enough. Now, when you do this, if you're really fussy, you notice that that has reduced the width of this, obviously, with white, but this one has not reduced. So if you want to do the same here, I don't know if F4 would work. No, F4 doesn't work, so you have to do it again. So you go to Format Data Series, Border, Solid Line, once again. And now, obviously, I can't remember how fat I have put this, but anyway, you need to make sure that you use the same width of the line. Okay. Okay, so now we have this. You can you have all the budget task related in blue. You have the issues and risks in purple, and the odd things like the RAG and the action item other business are in a different color yet. Now we're left with one thing. So we're left with an executive summary. And here I have just a bit of a catch-all: key risks, issues, risks, change requests, just to provide more words if needed. But it could be anything in this. And it's important, as I was saying, that you have something that if you really want to put it in the face of the executive sitting at the meeting, you can put things here. Chances are, if they go through a lot of projects, they will not read this. They might read this quickly, but they will definitely look at those at the top. So instead of merging cells and doing all this, to insert to insert this text here, what I've done is I've inserted a text box. You insert a text box this way, and then you place it here. The advantage is you can write more stuff into it. You're not limited by the cells, and also you know this stays consistent, and you can give it a nice little white background. In executive summary, for instance, here you could put the project summary in a quick words about the project, so that depends on the context. If you go through 20 projects, obviously you need to remind everyone, but if everybody knows what this project is about, you don't need to. And here you provide the key data. So the project is on target for completion, however the project is amber due to the budget, blah, blah, blah. And here just put whatever you feel is important. It's a bit of a catch-all, and here you could even put NA, nothing to declare, when the rack status is green. So that's it for an overview. I think in the next video I'll walk through this is still in progress, the program dashboard, where you can do it the other way around. Instead of having this project board being fed by tabs, you have a project for each tab, and it feeds into the program. Anyway, have fun with this, and I'll catch you next time.